guys, PoserZ0 coming at you with another frickin' YouTube video, okay? Alright, so anybody who's been around here for a while probably remembers there was a video that I recorded with my friend Johnny about a year ago.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Just making sure that's working. It's working.
Perfect.
Yeah, I recorded a video about a year ago about Kurtis Connor, and basically, you know, when I was making fun of Moist Critical a bunch, people were sending me guys to make fun of, and so I was obsessed with him for a little while. I watched his comedy specials. We even paid for his Patreon because his comedy special's so bad. He did what I do with stuff I don't want anybody to see. I paywall it. I say, if you really want this, you're gonna have to fucking bribe me for it. His stand-up, he was basically just stealing jokes from other people while doing a John Mulaney impression. He literally just like rips jokes from Portlandia. Basically, I've been on this guy's ass for a while now. I've been aware of him, but I kind of cooled off on him because he got boring. However, in a bizarre twist of events, he's decided to make a video called Performative Males. Obviously, you know, looking the way that he does, this came as a little bit of a surprise that he would make this video, right? That's what I've even seen screenshots of Twitter. People are putting it next to Epstein, and he's like, I hate pedophiles.
Tickets for my special taping on December 14th.
Don't go to that unless you're going to throw a watermelon at him.
To get your ticket. Folks, I'll say it. Being a man is hard these days. It has never been more difficult to navigate the male experience than right now. Whenever I'm sitting down on the bus or the subway, women are always getting in the way of my legs. It's like, hello, I'm trying to spread out here, you asshole. It's relentless, you know, day after day with these relentless attacks from women. Oh, I left the toilet seat up? Yeah. That's because there's my pee on there. And I didn't feel like cleaning it up. I am joking, obviously, but I do I'm
obviously joking. We are 40 seconds into the video. He's done 20 seconds promoting his stupid stolen material comedy tour in a video where he's going to be defending himself from allegations that he's disingenuous and a performative male. The first two things out of the fucking guy's mouth are a joke about manspreading, peeing on the toilet seat, and he's like, no, but I'm not pandering to women though with my YouTube videos, not even a little bit. What year is it? Who the fuck is still talking about manspreading? This is Kurt's default. He's in simp mode, and I don't even like using terms like that because it makes me sound like a fucking incel, which I am. Because this term performative male, it's now in the zeitgeist in a way that a lot of other words that like gaslight become popular, and then it's like people suddenly lose access to every other adjective they've ever learned in their fucking life. Everything is gaslighting, everything is a performance, everything is performative, and it just, everything loses all of its meaning. Back in my day, we called this being a poser. That's what Kurtis Connor is. He's a fucking poser. Performative males are posers. That's how I like to refer to them. Now, the subversive ethos.
Damn, son, where'd you learn this?
I'm reading off my laptop here. Has been identified by normies. So they pick up on the visual cues of a douchebag mullet mustache, you know, guy who fucks and plays electric guitar type of dude style, but then they have none of the substance that a guy like that would. So it's a costume. It's hollow. People dress this way because they want to seem cool without actually being cool. They dress this way because they don't know what else to wear. It's also a look that is, you know, geared specifically towards the female gaze. If I were a woman, this is what I'd be thinking. Why would I want a guy who has styled himself deliberately and specifically with my preferences in mind? It's basically the fashion version of free candy. Oh, free candy. It's like, yeah, you think there's not a catch? Here's what you got to know about Kurtis, okay? He's a male YouTuber with a majority female audience. According to the AI overview, which we will trust, primarily young adults with a skew. That's not a skew. That's a fucking avalanche. About 73% female. 3 out of 4 people that are watching this guy are women. First 20 seconds, he's making jokes pandering directly to what a woman would what a woman would find funny. And we all know that what women find funny is not. You can check on your Instagram who you have mutuals with that follow Kurtis Connor. It's going to be like girls that repost infographics.
I genuinely think it is the weirdest time to be a man on the internet right now. Not the most difficult by any means. It's kind of been smooth sailing forever for us dudes, but it is a
there
weird...
we go already. It's kind of been smooth sailing for us dudes. Okay, so it's hard to be a male, but obviously it's not harder than being a woman. And actually, it's really easy to be a man, not compared to a woman, which is what everybody watching this video is, besides us.
Weird time, to say the least. There's a lot of weird men online grifting off of young, lonely, vulnerable men by promoting this a weird, like, skewed, dated, and harmful version of masculinity. And I've noticed now, like, a lot of young men feel emboldened to engage in misogynistic behavior. The man who is currently the president of the United States.
Grab him by the
Oh my god, dude.
pussy.
Who knows? And there's a certain trend going on right now involving a type of man that I really want to talk about today. Not only because I think it's very interesting, but also because I've kind of somehow become one of the fucking poster boys for this genre of man. And I'm of course talking about performative males.
The way that he edits these videos makes me never want to edit a video ever again.
The reason this type of man is labeled performative is people assume they aren't actually being genuine. People think it's all an act, a performance, if you will. The common opinion about this genre of guy is that they're only dressing this way and behaving like this so they can attract progressive women, so they can then slide their willies and their hoo-ha. And you've seen these guys. These are the dudes. I think everybody has been performative to an extent. I'm a different person with my grandparents than I am with my best friends. It's a part of life. We put on slightly different performances based on who we're with. Look at Travis Kelce.
If you pretend to have a completely different political ideology so that you can fuck a progressive woman, that's pretty bad. Right? You would say, because she's basically consenting to something, you know, I sound like fucking Kurtis Connor here, Jesus Christ. She's consenting to a relationship under a false premise, right? That's completely different than, not saying in front of your grandma. One is just being polite and cordial. The other one is like really like maniacal and deceptive.
And now look at Travis. I unfortunately have been lumped into this group, mostly because I look a lot like these dudes.
Yeah.
Mullet, mustache, tattoos,
you suck.
You know.
Oh my god, okay, all right. This is fucking... Can you fucking believe he actually put this in a video? Why would you show us this, man? This is insane. Look how cringe this guy is. I mean, all of this stuff, like, you could look at any of these. This is from fucking Pinterest. This is a Pinterest style tattoo. Now, actually, you know what this one is like? Is when you're in a new city and you're looking up coffee shops. You're like, okay, this place has 4.5 stars. This coffee's probably going to be pretty good. And then you go in there and they have like a community local artists section. And then there's this kind of stuff hanging up and you're like, oh my God. But then the coffee oftentimes is excellent. When we go down here, everybody has to have a fucking butterfly or butterfly adjacent thing on them, or you don't have a tattoo these days. Got a dagger with barbed wire. This is one of the worst ones you could have. A gravestone that says oof. Literally Target Halloween card level designs here. He has etched on his skin fucking permanently. And then just a fucking car, an old television in the middle of his body. This is center stage on your person, man. Like, there's not even any like composition. At least with the sleeves, you just throw a bunch of random shit at it and they look like tattoos. It looks like you got a tattoo sleeve, even though you didn't want to like take the time to actually pay like a proper artist to do cool shit on you and like treat the whole tattooing process with any fucking degree of respect. You just got a bunch of random crap. You have a car next to a television, and the car is like this skewed warped perspective, and the TV is the same size as the car. Do what people do, right, that desire the look of tattoos, right, without having the taste or knowledge to actually make a sensible decision about getting any tattoos. Like Kurtis, you can look at this and be like, Kurtis shouldn't have any tattoos. He shouldn't. This is not the type, a personality type such as this is not a person who I would encourage to have tattoos on themselves. Like, he's not capable of that level of responsibility. Kurtis is the kind of guy who makes, these highly judgmental videos on basic dudes, and his shit is worse than basic because of this superiority complex that he has about him. He's a guy with no taste that thinks he has taste.
And I can take the criticism to a certain extent, but I gotta defend myself myself a little bit here. Because guys,
Here we go.
I have had this look for fucking years, bro. I grew a mullet way back in 2020. I grew a mustache a year after that, and I started getting tattooed 12 years ago.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was...
This is not a good excuse. I also had a mullet and a mustache, regrettably. I was making TikToks in COVID, so it had to be 2020. It's not a good defense of having shitty style to be like, yeah, I was early, right? It was a little bit more exciting back then. But I stopped because it became whack, like almost right away. So if something gets played out, overly popularized, etc., if you continue dressing or looking like that, you just get lumped in with the herd, which is where you belong. You don't, after the fact, once your look is really popular, go, yo, well, I was doing it really early. So figure something else out, man. If you're a person with good taste, you're gonna be motivated to continue evolving by making challenging decisions and experimenting.
The whole reason that performative males are doing this is so they can get with women. I'm married, you fucking idiots. I've been with my wife for like 10 years, dude. Leave me alone. So I want to get ahead of any of these.
Classic Kurtis bragging about being married segment here. He does this every video. He's always boasting about his marriage. Being a married guy is only cool if you don't look like a married guy. This is only a year ago. 1 year. See that? 5 million views 1 year ago. Look at him here. Still looking like a total hack. But he's like a slightly skinnier hack. Look how much fatter and more lopsided he's become in the last year. You're round. Look how round you are. You're all round in the face. You do not get to brag about being married if you're getting fatter. That's a rule, baseline rule. Marriage is only like a dope success story if you maintain your hotness, okay? And year by year, you don't put on like 3 pounds. Actually, that's more. This is probably about 6 pounds, 6 to 7 pounds of weight gain, and it's all gone to his face and neck. He made the point that the whole reason that people dress this way is to get girls, which I believe is, that's primarily true. And that does not apply to him because he is married. And that's the only explanation he has for why somebody would dress this way. Let's remember, Kurtis has a career as an entertainer and presents himself in appeasement of the audience that he has attracted over the years. Like we established, Kurtis makes videos for girls. He's attracting room temperature IQ women with his breadtuber, mediocre male feminist content, okay? So even if he's not trying to fuck these women directly, he relies on their attention and approval to earn money. He tells these girls whatever it is that they want to hear. You're doing the same grift, whether you realize it or not, that you just criticized other people in your video for. They're pandering to men, you're pandering to women. One is more harmful than the other, I will say. I'll definitely give you that. But the fact that he fails to see this hypocrisy kind of goes to show you how he, even in the year 2025, has not changed. Like, he's crazy enough to have not changed the way that he looks.
So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this so sick of this genre of man screenshot. It goes viral every few months. And, it does suck to see it all the time, but I've realized, over the years that it's actually like bringing people together, which is really nice. I've seen like dozens of right-wing alpha male bros make fun of how I look because of this picture. But that's not all, okay? I actually just saw this page, women's rights _news.
This is crazy.
Which is a page dedicated to intersectional feminism, but they also just reposted it as well. So, that one stings extra hard. But, it is comforting to know that no matter where you...
So this is incredible. I can't believe he posted this. He posted this L. This guy designs his entire personality about being agreeable to the average female, and a women's rights Instagram page just called him a freak. If I were Kurtis, this would be as good a signal as any to re-strategize, dude. Your shit is officially patched.
There's a factory out there manufacturing this specific kind of man, and I'm going to find it and compromise its structural integrity with a pressure cooker. Hobo Johnson, come on. What is this genre of man called? 9 million views, dude. I used to love this picture of me, and I would like to formally apologize for its consequences. Oh yeah, and this one, we got a video next. Is this a safe space to say that I have a strong dislike for this specific type of man? Oh yeah, got me good. Ouch, that one stings. How
Here we
dare
go.
you put me in a slideshow with Jacob Elordi and Hasan Piker? How will I recover from that one? And then there's a...
He's happy. He's actually happy about being in the same Instagram reel as Hasan, which you'd have to ask, have you not been paying attention? You know, even if it were not for these recent shocking developments, we know Hasan has horrible personal style. Speak the devil, this guy just can't stop messing up, dude. He can't stop fucking up big time. This clip now is going around of Hasan saying the word black like it's a slur.
Talk about us unless it comes from voting. When is the last time you spoke about Sudan? I'm gonna fucking ether you. Any other black folk want to engage in radical activist language in this fucking chat? Suck my fucking cock.
You're not allowed to talk to a black person asking you a question like that, dude.
Any other black folk?
If you watch this full clip, it's so funny because he's like, I'm about to ether you, and then just like basically has a fucking full-on meltdown and tells this person, what's up with him telling everybody to suck his cock all the time? He's telling black people to suck his cock. He was telling Charlie, was critical to suck his cock. Why is he obsessed with his cock going in people's mouths every time somebody wrongs him? What's up with that, dude? You could definitely make the argument that Hasan's style is superior to Kurtis's because we know Hasan is a closeted, narcissistic sociopath, resulting in these dreadful, egomaniacal designer car crash outfits. At least those are an accurate reflection of Hasan as a person. Even if they do nothing but broadcast his fatal flaws as a person, it's still a genuine signal. He can't lie about his ego. That comes out through his clothes. Just got a text. Are you still an incel or did you sleep it off? Being an incel is not the kind of thing that you sleep off, man. Don't move! Place!
Performative male or 1980s serial killer. How many can you guess correctly? And then there's pictures of guys with mustaches. And you know what? I'll admit
just
that was pretty
himself
funny. You know,
more.
at least it's creative. Hopefully people are defending me in the comments though, so that is very nice of them. Thank you guys. Kurt, don't listen to them. We won't let them hurt you. How was Kurtis up here with the others? Man does a video on the game chair. Is that secretly a feminist performance? First off, not a chair.
That's a chair.
But yes, it is actually. That video of me sitting alone on a Video Gear command center crying about my dead stepfather, that was actually done to impress people. Like, why the fuck do I get looped in with this shit? I don't understand. My last video...
Okay, awesome. Why do I get looped in with this shit? I don't understand. So he's posting screenshots of comments defending himself. That's how desperate he was. He liked one of them. I would never, ever do that. I've never been so down bad that I would humiliate myself. He's so desperate to sway public discourse about something where I throw my one like on there.
That video of me sitting alone on a Video Gear command center crying about my dead stepfather, that was actually done to impress people.
You took a video of yourself crying and put it on the internet, and then you went, how is that a performance for my female audience?
That was actually done to impress people.
Just because you say the truth sarcastically, that doesn't make it not the truth.
It was me and my friend playing with a mind flex. If you watch that video and you were like, what a performative man, you actually have a hollow head. Okay, so this argument also, like, in a sea of examples of Kurtis Connor with the most predictable, you know, pick me male bullshit, he will select a particular video that he has done that he doesn't necessarily think qualifies as pandering to women and say, well, if you thought that one thing I did was male performative, whatever, then you're an idiot. It's like, that doesn't mean the 99% of the other shit that you do isn't. That's a terrible fucking argument, man.
He only talks about politics at the surface level. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a comedian, man. I don't have a fucking degree in politics. And also, I don't think this person does either, based on all their fucking spelling mistakes, dude.
Okay, so this is like ultra cringe for a variety of reasons. First of all, he's like, I'm a comedian. You're not a comedian, dude.
You know, artist.
Right after claiming that he's a comedian, he goes, oh, I don't have a degree in political science, and I don't think this person does either based off these spelling mistakes. This person wrote, I'm soup happy. It's not a spelling error. It's shorthand for super happy. It's a fucking comment on an Instagram reel. This is how little he has to contribute to any conversation. Like, he always relies on nitpicking irrelevant crap that's not even funny. I don't have a degree and you don't either because you made a spelling error. It's like, you're a fucking professional YouTuber, man. That's the best thing you can come up with. You suck. This sort of shit used to be funny on YouTube. Like, Kurtis's formula really reminds me of like Cody Co and early H3H3. This type of content, this type of coverage, this commentary is so like beyond dated. I can't believe that people actually still tune into this crap.
Dude, sorry I don't give a fucking 100,000 word dissertation in my videos every time I talk about fucking politics, bro. And I'm sorry.
And that's not the problem, by the way. This person says he only talks about politics, you know, at the surface level. And this is the thing, right? He engages in politics in a really unoriginal, like unfunny and lazy way. It's not funny to do shit like, you know, distort the size of Trump's head and call him Cheeto Man. There's not a joke there. He's basically hiding behind the status as a comedian as an excuse to not say anything intelligent. And it's like, well, dude, if you're not saying anything intelligent, it's probably not that funny. Drumpf, Orange Man bad, covfefe, mom tier jokes.
President of the United States.
When you resort to moronic political humor, you're actually not doing your party any favors. You're making us all look worse by comparison. Like, you don't have a challenging opinion or sentiment on virtually any topic. He's incredibly predictable and also like arrogant. He feels like entitled to suck this fucking bad at YouTube at his job.
100,000 word dissertation in my videos every time I talk about fucking politics, bro. And I'm sorry, if you're clicking on my videos expecting that, you're an idiot.
Look at his merch, man. How am I like virtue signaling?
Like, why the fuck do I get looped in with this shit? I don't understand.
You literally made yourself trans for money. That's what you did. You even have this fucking ridiculous pink cowboy hat. This goes quadruple platinum in every college campus in the United States for some reason. Like, that is moth to a flame for like basic chicks. They love this pink cowboy hat. Please be nice to me. It's the law. This is Kurtis's fucking catchphrase. It's always pissed me off because he's such a little sneaky shit about criticizing other people. He hates any dude that's hotter than him. This is not you. This has nothing to do with your life. This has nothing to do with your lived personal experience. You just did this because you knew your audience would like it and you knew it would make you money. That's the only reason that you made this fucking t-shirt. You're not a gay guy. You're not part of the LGBTQIA+, man. When you start messing around with queer baiting, people are going to become skeptical of you really, really fast. This is why we lost the culture war, man. This shit is so incredibly whack that it fucked us. You've learned nothing from the past fucking 5 years, man. Pathetic. You're not a comedian, dude. Like, a comedian needs a novel perspective that challenges the way that people think.
You are self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit.
100,000 word dissertation in my videos every time I talk about fucking politics, bro. And I'm sorry, if you're clicking on my videos expecting that, you're an idiot. I feel like
I love that line too. If you're expecting anything more substantive and original, then you're a fucking idiot. It's like, he's defending his own right to suck. You're in a creative field, man. You're receiving criticism, and then you're calling other people stupid for not being satisfied with how shitty you are. Oh, I wonder how he ended up as a guy who sells this. I wonder how you ended up thinking that this was a good idea, because the way you process criticism, man, is fucking pathetic. You're not equipped for it.
I feel like I've subtracted IQ points from my brain after research.
Oh yeah, I'm so stupid. Someone criticized me and then I got dumber because it's so ridiculous. Anybody who ever fucking criticized me, you suck.
What the fuck are we talking about, guys? Let's all just go outside. All right, back to me.
I guess I've made several videos sort of denouncing toxic masculinity and misogyny and stuff. So I guess I'm performative for doing that. But I mean, that's... And I
guess I've made several videos sort of denouncing toxic masculinity and misogyny and stuff.
Are we fucking for real right now, man? How could you possibly say that with a straight face? So yeah, I've made several videos denouncing misogyny. If only you could see yourself, man, the way the world sees you. It's truly unreal that you would say that with a straight face. How deep your head must be up your own ass, man. And then he inserts that fucking stupid sound effect. This whole thing is so ridiculous that he couldn't possibly comprehend why anybody would say it. You're making pro-women videos for women. Your 70% female audience, you're making videos denouncing misogyny. I don't know if you know this, man, but women are already pro-women. Amazing, dude. Really groundbreaking stuff. You're a fucking hero.
I want to figure out if there is actually a foolproof way to learn whether or not a man is actually being performative. And according to engagement farmers on the internet, I am an authority figure on this subject.
Engagement farmers, aka anybody that criticizes you for looking like a fucking noob. Engagement farmers. The old Hasan Reddit bot technique. Engagement farmers. Because none of these people have a point, right? You go viral on Twitter for looking like a fucking joke every 3 months, and all of those people are wrong. They're all crazy.
So let's start with our first performative male.
I think it's really funny that I dress like this and give off like tough, like a tough sort of thing going on. And then I cry to Phoebe Bridgers in the shower, and I listen to C Rose and Boy Genius. And the dichotomy is crazy. But I don't even listen to hardcore music that much. Look at this shirt. It's my friend's tattoo brand. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Later.
All right, bro. That was not, I didn't like that. You can dress however you want and listen to whatever you want. Truly, nobody gives a fuck. But to set the camera up and then just keep talking and then just post all of that? Come on, man. I do feel bad that people...
So he does all the editing. He's a like nice little editor, right? His edits they're there for a reason. Try to track the amount of time that there is nothing happening on screen. Even if it's just a stationary shot of him speaking, it'll be zooming in, cutting, there's sound effects. Like, this is the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. This is a straight up attack on your psyche. Like, this will nuke your attention span. Like, that's the only way that Kurtis is able to even get the amount of views that he does, because if he actually sat there and expressed his ideas without 20,000 hours of manual, tedious editing on top of it, everyone would immediately realize what a fucking nincompoop this dude is. This is his criticism, by the way, of an all-time legendary cringe post. Like, this has its own fucking page on Know Your Meme. You can look this up. This is the dichotomy is crazy guy. This is part of the lexicon forever. This is his criticism. Yeah, it's crazy that he set up his camera and then was talking for a while. That's every single fucking video pretty much on the internet. That's what you're doing right now. That's what I'm doing right now. There is so much to work with there. It's fucking endless. How is that your criticism? That he set up his camera and was talking, dude? You fucking suck.
You're a disgrace!
I don't know, you gotta have a little self-awareness, pal. You know what I mean? Could you imagine someone saying this?
He has to have self-awareness. This is friendly fire. I can't believe this guy's sitting here telling that guy to have some self-awareness. These guys have the same tattoo. They've got the same tattoo. This guy has one of those little wreath things on his neck. Same shit that Kurtis has up on his collarbones right there, dude. I like, too, that he's like, my gut is leaning towards performative. As if this isn't the most obvious, like, desperate ploy for female attention.
Could you imagine someone saying this to you in person? Crazy how I, like, look this way, but, like, I'm sensitive and shit. I actually think Boy Genius should be called Girl Genius, because they are. Where'd you go?
He's making fun of him for saying, crazy how I look this way, but I'm sensitive and shit. You cried in a YouTube video and posted it. You were able to identify that about him, and yet you're guilty of the same exact thing. Imagine what you could find on his YouTube channel if you actually went digging, because he's accidentally providing ammunition against himself in his own video where he's trying to make a defense. He's so 100% guilty, his exculpatory evidence is inculpatory.
Funny because I 100% am baby girl. I spent my Sunday journaling.
Yeah, so I guess another performative male stereotype is journaling, which I'm not even 100% sure like what that is exactly. Okay, I just looked it up. Journaling is the act of writing.
How would you not know what journaling is, Jesus?
Okay, so like a diary. It's a diary, right? Your masculinity is so fragile, you can't even use the word diary. Come on, man up and call that shit a diary, okay? And you can use it as a verb, I'm sure, right? Yeah, I spent my Sunday diary. Also, maybe this is just because I'm immature.
He loves potty humor, dude. He averages like fucking 5 poop and pee jokes. Yeah, you actually can be funny without being offensive. Let's talk about poop.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Okay, this is amazing. For his reenactment here, he has this guy journaling who's wearing a fedora. I hate that Kurtis makes a mockery of the fedora by using it as a prop. Guess what, Kurtis? What do you think it's going to look like if we put a fedora on your head on a video of you talking? It's going to look perfect. Watch this.
I guess I've made several videos sort of denouncing toxic masculinity and misogyny and stuff. So I guess I'm performative for doing that. But I mean, that's...
Made several videos sort of denouncing toxic masculinity and misogyny and stuff. So I guess I'm performative for doing that.
I can't say for certain if he's being performative or not because I don't know him personally.
Wow! How do you like stoop so low in your analysis as a critical YouTuber? This is your job. You're doing commentary. I don't know the guy personally, so I can't really say. You don't know any of the people that you talk about in your internet videos personally. Like, you're making assessments and judgments about people based on what they put on the internet. Right? That's how this entire thing works because you're sensitive about being in the same category as these guys. Now you're granting yourself additional leniency and extending that same leniency to these people.
Do you get attached after sex?
Do I get attached after making love?
Boom! Okay, so you already... Kurtis is going to go way harder on this dude. Like I told you earlier, this guy's smoking. He's a fucking Chad. Kurtis hates guys that are hotter than him. That's his number. So he's already like looking at his phone like, ew, can't believe this guy. Ew.
Do I get attached after making love?
And by the Kurtis, when you see this guy, then you see Kurtis's face. Kurtis looks like a straight up goblin. He looks like a creature that crawled out of a hole in Chernobyl. You are like barely even a human being next to this dude. So relax with the judgmental attitude.
You make love to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone? I don't want to.
It's a big decision.
He would never fuck you.
And, you know, to let someone in and be comfortable with them. Oh, brother. So yeah, I do make love with people I make love with.
Oh, what? Dude, even if he is being 100% genuine, I cannot believe this is a real guy, dude. That's crazy.
How can you not believe this is a real guy? Look at you. Look at you, man. This is neon mushroom art you have hanging up behind your head, and this must be one of your favorite possessions that you own because you put it in the back of your fucking shot. That's why I did that little frog over there, man. That thing is a lamp. It lights up. You have mushroom art in your shot. You have a Pokeball, and I also know you have Funko Pops over here. And then a little alien plushie, dude. Ugly house for an ugly man.
I'm very picky.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy it, pal. This is the type of dude to like say all this and then like love bomb you like crazy and then just ghost you forever, you know? Also, speaking of guys...
I can't let you get close.
So this is the type of guy, right? This is the type of guy. You don't know him. How are you so comfortable making all of these bold assumptions about this individual when you just told people to touch grass for making assumptions about you?
One day something's are gonna come up about him because I don't know. There's something that's just off. Touch grass. Literally.
Dead man walking.
Contradictory Kurtis, that's what we're gonna call you. Kurtis, the old contradiction Connor. Told you, he hates hot guys. The other guy was chopped and screwed.
We gotta call love bombing something else, okay? We gotta change that name.
Oh,
love
here
bomb?
we
That sounds
go.
like a big hug or something, right? Here comes a love bomb. I think it should be used for like if you haven't seen someone in a really long time, okay? Maybe if a loved one comes back from a vacation finally, you meet them at the airport and you scream as loud as you can in the airport. Here comes a love bomb. Okay, sorry, back to the...
Okay, that's the old Kurtis Connor technique. He'll go on some like, you know, shitty Jerry Seinfeld style little monologue that's supposed to be a joke. That's not even really a joke. It just has a bunch of editing on it because he doesn't have a point. Love bombing, he just focuses on an arbitrary, irrelevant detail. Being, I don't think we should say love bombing anymore. Am I right, folks? Because what if you said it in an airport? What if we... What would you think about that?
It's safe to say this motorcycle man is being a tad performative. I think he's trying to seem more deep and emotional than he actually is. You know,
oh, really? I agree.
Objectively suck to make fun of someone for reading in public. Like, sure, if a guy is reading a Ben Shapiro book in public, for sure make fun of him, dude. That guy's a fucking loser. But the whole thing...
Okay. Oh, this is why people hate you, dude. When they say, you only engage with politics at a surface level. Like, if this is what you're going to do, stretch out Ben Shapiro's face, distort the way that he looks, put impact text over it, and write poop, and put an echoing fart sound effect. Like, I hate Ben Shapiro. He sucks. I like Ben Shapiro more than you because Ben Shapiro would never do anything that... Okay, all right, I take it back. I can see why he does this. It's pretty funny to do this to somebody. I'm laughing right now.
And I think it's kind of counterintuitive to shame men for reading progressive literature when people often complain about men not reading enough progressive literature. And I know this whole thing is a joke and a meme, and I understand why girls are making fun of dudes for doing shit like this because, you know, to be fair, I guess women have been made fun of for doing anything publicly for like forever. To be fair, I guess women have been made fun of for doing anything publicly for like forever.
I hate to be that friend that's too woke. I think making fun of dudes who are genuinely interested in feminist literature and automatically labeling them as performative or manipulative, I don't know, I feel like it's probably gonna discourage them and other young men from engaging and adapting more feminist and progressive ideologies.
Right? Call me crazy, but I'd rather a guy read the same page of a foreign affairs magazine for 20 minutes than sit down and listen to 3 hours of the Joe Rogan Experience.
It does the same cut to a person who doesn't agree with him politically. It would be bad to make fun of men for engaging with feminist literature if they were doing so earnestly and honestly. But that's the entire fucking point of what we're talking about, dude. Obviously, if you see a guy reading feminist literature in front of a fucking coffee shop, he's doing that for attention, and it's part of like a well-documented social phenomenon right now. It's the same thing as posting about the gym, man. Like, nobody wants to be subjected to your mediocre physique when you're posting it every other day. We don't care about your fucking fitness journey. But if you are just at the beach, you know, and you happen to post a pic of you looking jacked and shredded and diced, I'm gonna be like, wow, cool. Like, it was appropriate given the context. Like, all of this stuff is about context. If you're just looking for a reason to draw attention to yourself, then people are going to be fucking tired of you real quick. It's not the reading itself, and it's not the being jacked. It's almost never about the actual thing. It's almost always about the way that these things are shared. It's not really funny anymore, but it's like the old vegan joke. How do you know if somebody's vegan? It's like, don't worry, they'll tell you. He says, I would rather people pretend to read one page of a feminist book than to legitimately engage with something that they're actually interested in, like the Joe Rogan Experience. You want people to pretend to like stuff because you agree with the contents of that thing? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you ever make that recommendation to people? This being a problem does not affect you. It affects women who get into relationships with guys who say and act like somebody that they are not. That is the entire point. That's why you ended up on a women's Instagram page that was like, we hate this type of dude. That is a damning admission from a guy who is in the middle of trying to defend himself from accusations that he is inauthentic.
In the 2024 election, 54% of young men voted for Donald Trump, a convicted felon with several SA accusations against him. That is 54% too many, in my opinion. So if there are dudes out there he
complains about Aiden Ross, using Aiden Ross clips. He's complaining how Trump is the president of the United States. Kurt is advocating, yeah, pretend to read feminist literature.
I'm gonna fucking ether you.
Do you think why the fuck do you think Aiden Ross is popular? If you think about it for a second, it seems crazy that people watch that guy, but it actually makes sense because the alternative is you. And you are worse. A sneaky, conniving moron is not preferable to a genuine idiot.
This next guy is named Montaigne, but some of you guys might recognize this guy from this epic rap video he made.
I never get tired of the hate. You gotta be good before you ever be great. And I know the hate comments only happen cause they boy.
Cut that boy. And it makes a lot of videos where he's like, do you guys want to hear another disgusting secret about men that they don't want you to know? And then he'll just go on to say a bunch of stuff that doesn't really make sense to me.
Okay, his standards while he's drinking are not the standards that he's gonna have when he wakes up. So they boy.
You can't say he says stuff that doesn't make sense and then insert a clip that makes perfect sense. He's saying, oh, the standards that he has when he's drinking are not the same standards he has when he wakes up. That just means when some guys are drunk, they'll fuck anything that moves. Maybe he remembered him saying something that was confusing at some point, and then he couldn't find that thing. So instead of cutting out the part of the video where he accuses this guy of saying stuff that doesn't make any sense, he just inserts a clip that does make sense and then does like a quick edit.
Standards that he's gonna have when he wakes up. So they boy.
But yeah, as if we're not gonna notice that. Just delete that part of the fucking video if you're too lazy to actually find a piece of evidence that substantiates the point that you're making.
Every single man that you will ever meet for the rest of your days as a single person, okay, is simply a combination of every woman's cool traits that he knew before you met him. That is it. That every cool guy, ran through or not, is simply just a combination of every cool woman that came before you.
Yeah, I think that's just being a person. I think that's just being
a human. Everyone you meet is a product of every person that they've ever come into contact with. I think that's just a human experience, right?
In terms of being performative, Kareboa genuinely seems like at least a little more genuine than the other guys, which is kind of crazy. He had every opportunity to become a full-on right-wing grifter after everybody made fun of him for the fucking Kareboa thing, but you know, he stuck to his guns and he kept making this content.
The scariest thing I think about Kareboa is his presentation is, I am willing to betray my fellow man and spill these secrets to you, female viewer, in order to gain your trust. It's like, what would be the point of violating trust with one group of people in order to gain trust with another group of people? It's the same as a relationship that is born out of cheating. So if you're with one person and then you start cheating on your partner with another person, and then current relationship ends and you start a new relationship right away with the person that you've been cheating with, it's like the second person that you're now getting into a relationship with should now be like, well, why would I think that what happened to this first person couldn't also happen to me? It doesn't actually make any sense. So this is very sneaky and conniving. So Kurtis being like, this guy seems the most genuine. This guy is the least genuine to me. He is like the most obvious freak of all of them. It's also not helpful when people like this make broad claims about, you know, the opposite sex and how all of them behave, because most people are able to discern that that's kind of stupid. But there are some people, in this case, you know, you'll see some lady's social media profile and it's her constantly complaining about men. And then if that type of woman comes across a video like this, they're going to have the reaction where it's like, oh, okay, it's not me. It is actually men and I'm not the problem. It's like, there actually probably could be something like disconcerting and off-putting about your personality that scares people away from you. It's not that there is an innate problem with the opposite sex and you are perfect. It encourages negative patterns of thought. It indulges people's delusions about the world. Also, he says this thing that, oh yeah, he had every opportunity to become a right-wing grifter. It's like, dude, how do you not see that he's just a left-wing grifter telling women exactly what they want to hear? Albeit, I would agree with the idea that this is less damaging. It's still grifting and dishonesty.
I do find this video in particular a little ironic though, because his caption for this obviously pro-women video is Brandy sweater at Brandy Melville. Bro, Brandy Melville? Bruh. How the hell are you gonna make a video essentially saying men are only cool because every woman they've ever met is unique and different and distinctive? And right below that, you're like, anyways, I got this sweater from a place that makes clothing for strictly skinny girls. It's just a little odd to like hype up women while you're wearing a sweater from a company with a long history of bigotry and body shaming towards women specifically.
Tacos, they don't give a fuck. Don't fucking care. They're gonna keep buying Brandy Melville stuff because Brandy Melville is the queen. It's the queen of female basics. And by the way, I kind of defend, you know, now that Kurtis is a fat guy himself, look at his round face. Of course, he'd be all sensitive. I defend a company's right to make clothes exclusively for skinny people. If that's what they want to do, then slim down or you're not in the club. Kurtis's angle here, to me, is like the same shit as when white people try and tell black people that they need to be outraged by something. It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure black people can figure out if something's racist or not.
Any other black folk want to engage in?
I think they'd know better than you. Girls can figure out if they want to shop at Brandy Melville. And guess what? They do. They don't need a mullet sexual PC checking a guy in a woman's cardigan to make that decision. I love women more than you do. No, I love women more than you do. No, I love women more than you do. No, I'm more supportive than either of these two because as an incel, I don't even bother talking to women. I don't even bother speaking to them anymore. I let them exist in peace.
When things get popular these days, they have a contest about it in local parks. So I've seen tons of videos on TikTok of these performative male contests all over North America where dudes will show up and perform as performative males to win the title of most performative male. This one was actually kind of cool. It was kind of like a fashion show where each contestant walked and showed off their books and tote bags and lattes. And it's actually bringing people together, which is actually kind of...
Look how newbie and dorky they all are.
Their books and tote bags.
This stuff sucks because the people that are involved that go to these contests, right, they all mutually have identified the fact that being a performative male is lame, but then they will do it anyway. Self-awareness does not grant you immunity. All these dudes know this is a cringe and pathetic thing to be, and they're mocking themselves, thinking that the fact that they are mocking themselves and they are self-aware somehow makes it better. You know, they're all congregating in celebration of this incredibly played out, unfunny meme that's actually their life. This guy has all this stuff. He wore this today and he's gonna wear it tomorrow too.
And to be honest, I don't know if making fun of like actual performative men, I don't know if that's gonna make them better people either, which sucks. I think if they're genuinely like being performative and then they get called out on it, I think they're just gonna drop the act and become even bigger assholes. And like, is that better? I don't know if it is. Do you want guys reading fucking Jordan Peterson books in public instead? No, of course not. If they're skimming through like some feminist literature, maybe.
He doesn't know if shaming performative men is good because it may make them bigger assholes if they drop the act. He's saying it's his preference for people to pretend to be something that they're not rather than to just be themselves. I made this point earlier, but Kurtis is not the one who is affected by this front that people put on. It's women in the dating pool who deal with guys who take Kurtis's advice, which is, hey, pretend not to be an asshole when you actually are an asshole, and then after some poor woman has wasted 6 months of her life on you or something, she slowly figured out what a piece of shit you are. It's like, I think she'd probably be better off just knowing that you were a piece of shit from the jump. You really think that there's nothing you could learn from a Jordan Peterson book, dude? Jordan Peterson now, he's a completely insane guy that wears a suit that's half red and half blue. He's gone off the deep end and he's like addicted to benzodiazepines and shit. But at one point, that was clearly a highly intelligent person. He is not open-minded whatsoever about perspectives that potentially could challenge his own.
Even in the animal kingdom, this exists, dude. Peacocks? Chill, bro. Those are the most performative creatures in the world, dude. Like, bro, we get it. To be fair, I would be extra as hell, too, if my name was Peacock. Dude, that sucks. That's like being named Poop Butt. But with the rise of social...
I just want to drive the point home that seeing a man dress or behave in a feminine way and automatically labeling him as performative is really just a creative, like, roundabout way to perpetuate patriarchal ideologies. Because what you're essentially saying is men should only look one particular way, and that is big.
Tough and manly.
While women are the ones that should be behaving in this more feminine way.
This is a concept that's strictly about men shifting their presentation to reflect not their own personal interests, but things that they believe would acquiesce their own perceptions about female preferences. You know, Kurtis's advice, which is, hey, don't listen to stuff that you actually like. Pretend to listen to stuff that girls like. What? That's the fucking stupidest shit I've ever heard. This is misogynistic in of itself because you are making decisions about the way that you will interact and treat women based off of a version of a woman that you have made up in your own head. You could just be yourself instead of doing that. It really is like the horseshoe theory of wokeness, where Kurtis is actually so woke that he is no longer woke. Trying to explain these ideas to Kurtis would be like trying to explain to a white guy with dreadlocks why he kind of looks like a fucking moron. And by the way, everyone has long thought that this is whack when girls do it too. It's called being a pick-me girl. You know, it's just more of a social taboo right now when men do it. And I think they're rightfully being shamed for creating versions of themselves that they think are going to be admirable rather than putting the work into becoming a legitimately, you know, interesting person.
But to be honest, I really don't know if any of these guys I talked about in this video are actually performative because I don't personally know them. Just like how those people on the internet were labeling me as performative, right? They don't personally know me either. So I'm no better than the people I was complaining about if I'm over here labeling all these dudes as performative as well, right? So with that, I would like to revoke all my performative stamps that I gave out during this video. And I would like to replace all of them with a cornball stamp, okay? Because I can say...
This being the conclusion to his video is fucking unbelievable, which is basically, I don't know if somebody is performative or genuine because I don't know them personally. All of the guys he's discussing are clearly posers. They are like the most exaggerated, obvious example of what a poser fucking looks like, but he's saying, I don't know the guy. He only even comes to that conclusion because people are making assumptions about him. If you're a YouTuber, you analyze things that people put on the internet. You don't boil it all down to, well, I've never met the guy, so we might as well not talk about it. But I have a couple ideas for Kurtis. First of all, Kurt, I've seen his Instagram page and he like poses with a beer. He's like a one beer type of guy. We need to like drastically change that about you, dude. You need to start getting fucked up on the regular, especially because you like pretend to like have the hairstyle of a guy who's an alcoholic. Like you need to get like plastered me style like 3 to 4 times a week because you are just in a state of comfortability and stagnation. And that's what getting fucked up does for you. It changes your perspective. You've clearly been locked into the same exact perspective for years now. You need to start abusing drugs, Kurtis. You need to start punishing yourself. We need some type of X factor from Kurtis. Obviously, you need to like completely physical makeover, get rid of all of that shit too. Give yourself a Hitler stash and a mohawk. Like literally anything is better than what you have right now. On some real shit, you know, Kurtis is actually a pretty handsome dude. If he just had some like self-respect, viewed himself as an individual person instead of a representative of like a political movement or ideology, so he didn't have to wear this fucking ludicrous costume anymore, he could actually be like a handsome dude. I want to know the real Kurtis, man, because I honestly, I don't even think that Kurtis knows the real Kurtis. So yeah, to wrap this up, my dog just stepped on my fucking roadcaster. His conclusion in this video is, we don't know these people personally, so there's no way of knowing what their intentions are. Therefore, we cannot know if they are performative. However, we can assuredly say that they are corny. So basically, his argument is kind of that these guys are either guilty of manipulation or are so genuinely stupid that they do not understand what they're doing, which is funny to me because that's actually how I view Kurtis. I think that he's genuinely confused and blindsided by the fact that people are suspicious of him because he chooses to present in a way that suspicious people do. It is not my genuine belief that Kurtis is hiding anything or is doing anything that's not above board. I think that his perspective and his attitude about the world is in fact so unoriginal and contrived, it looks and sounds the way that somebody would if they were playing a character. I think Kurtis is genuinely this person. He's making fun of fedora guys. He is oblivious in the same way that somebody like that is. Every now and again, you will see somebody that is so cartoonishly archetypal of some specific kind of individual that you go, this must be a joke. But no, I think Kurtis really is a genuine mullet mustache. I make anti-misogyny videos and I mean it. That's who I think he is.